Okay, give me a second, y'all. A dead shooter and 1 attendee. Yeah, it sounds about right. I am mute. Thank you for resubscribing for 9 whole months. Goodness gracious. Nobi Natter, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, Ferris Blue. Boy, I sure am tired of living through concurrent events. Supposedly it's a guy named Mark Violets. All right, let's see this Mark Violets. All right, where are you seeing the Mark Violets thing? All right, hang on, I got something. Yeah, well, so getting shot might conjure to mind the idea that he's been actually wounded, but he was grazed in the ear and it did draw blood, which is the worst possible outcome because it does not, like, it will not physically take away from him at all. All right, per the Butler Police Department, the Trump shooter has been arrested and identified as Mark Violets, an Antifa member. Prior to the shooter, Violets uploaded a YouTube video claiming justice is coming. All right, let's look up Mark Violets. All right, JRL investigates. Who is Mark Violets? All right, I think they're just going to be playing the same thing we did, but let's see what they're saying.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what time the shooting happened, but to see what this says, this has just been brought to my attention.
Rapina malata chi è? Passa montagna, occhiali neri e dammi soldi, cioè così è.
What is that language?
Rapina malata chi è?
What does that mean? Can anyone translate that? Can
Is that
anyone
Italian?
translate that? Is he saying, no, I'm not the guy? Can anyone translate that? Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
E dammi soldi, cioè così è.
That, okay, already, if they're saying that is the dude who's the Antifa shooter, I don't know. Mark Violet Dream, that's not the same. All right, so what is the... Olivas. Okay. As always, these fucking right-wing Twitter accounts don't say who hired him. Yeah, we're gonna be. This is gonna be a fun little bit of conspiracy digging today, because these right-wing accounts are not gonna fucking. Still no word from Joe Biden. If y'all want to know the word from Joe Biden, it's gonna be, well, darn it. After he falls at rally. Okay, so they're just, there's no links to this. There's nothing to actually support it. Cool. Enzo the Librarian. I'm sure the fact that this guy was associated with Antifa will be treated completely neutrally and will in no way be used to demonize anti-fascists. Well, that's the thing. Every time, without fail, every time something happens, it is first blamed on Antifa. Like, Antifa is not a organized group. That is the point of Antifa. It is not, as much as they want to be like, oh, well, George Soros is funding it. Like, there's no actual concrete proof behind that. Antifa is not a organized structure. Like, the idea that Antifa is behind this, it's ludicrous. There's nothing to really prove that. And I think that's bared out by the fact that the video we saw isn't even in English. Like, hello dog. Dog wants to say hi to everybody. Hello. I just watched BBC. They interviewed a resident who lives outside the rally, who was standing there by a tree listening and saw someone on top of a building near him with a rifle. Tried to get police and Secret Service attention, and they ended up killing him. Fined. Super trustworthy source here. Love that. They ended up killing him. Find. Oh, there's more. Find this video. All right, hang on. There was a video there. Carrying an Antifa card. Good God.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. No, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it,
No, sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But
God damn it! So he's already like, the man just watched another. If this is to be believed, which I cast a wide amount of speculation on this. The man just saw somebody die, and the first thing he's doing is fucking baking. He is already in the bakery cooking up the conspiracy around it. Like, it's... So the thing is I don't, and again, literally, that's why everybody's here. That's why we're all streaming. That's why this is all happening, because nobody knows what's going on right now, right? News doesn't know. Every news station right now, I know exactly what the journalists are doing. Like, at every level, they are freaking the fuck out. They're trying to get the actual story of what happened. They are trying to get as much accurate information as possible. And that's why I've even seen people in the chat being like, okay, so I had somebody tell me it was, there are 2 shooters. I think there's probably only 1. The 2-shooter thing is, it's very, very rarely 2 shooters, right? That narrative develops out of a lot of active shooter situations, out of an abundance of caution, because, and especially in wide open areas, if you have multiple different people in multiple different parts of an arena or any real venue where a shooting is occurring, the echoes from shots can usually make it sound like, okay, no, somebody was over here, no, somebody was over here. And when people are disoriented, that just makes it worse. So I will say, out of the gate, I could be wrong about this, there's probably only 1 shooter. There usually is, right? The idea that somebody had a rifle, because there were 4 to 5 shots. If you go and listen to the video, I won't, because I think I might be able to get my channel taken down. There were 4 to 5 little pops that you hear. You can hear it faintly in the background. If it was a rifle, if we are talking a long gun, I do not think they would have been able to pop it off quite as fast unless it was something semi-automatic, right? At that point, a couple of things are explained. If it was a hunting rifle, that person shouldn't have missed. Like, that's what I'm going to say. If there was somebody, like they're explaining here, laying down on a roof in a perched position, like they are eyeing a target, that person shouldn't have missed. They just shouldn't. Like, if you look at this logistically, no person who's going to go through that effort and get as far as that is going to have their sights miscalibrated, is going to, like, they shouldn't have missed. What I think happened is it was probably something with a higher rate of fire, to put it in like Call of Duty terms, lower rate of accuracy, probably something, I don't want to say like AR-15, but probably fairly far away, which is why you saw 4 or 5 shots and only one of them almost hit. Yeah, it's... How fucked are we, Talmasharu? Pretty fucked. Let me get to these real quick. My cat is meowing my ear off. I think she's sensing my stress. Your girl Jen, wow, thank you for following. Awesome kid, thank you for 8 months. What potential advice do you have to help people not freak out over this and its potential implications? I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. This is one of those things that I saw it. I was sitting down to eat. I was trying to take a day off today, because I've been just inundating myself in conspiracy and, you know, doing a lot of intensive research for the next big project and all that stuff. My usual MO. And I sat down and I'm like, okay, fuck. Like, it hit me the exact same way January 6th did, where I know, like, it's weird, right? Because I've been thinking about this. These things, they happen in this abstract space where it doesn't tangibly affect most people's lives. Like, you can reach the end of your day not having known about this, and it wouldn't probably make a difference on the outcome, right? And it's very similar with things like January 6th, but it does have a cultural knock-on effect where this event will at one point tangibly change something that will affect you in one way or another. Whether that's Trump getting elected and climate disaster getting worse and it affects the place that you live, whether that's Trump getting elected and Medicare getting worse, which affects you when you need pills or a family member needs pills or, you know, whatever. These things mount up and they don't affect you until they do, right? It's a domino effect for a reason. So how do people not freak out over this? Because this is on the level, on a conspiracy plane. This is up there with Epstein for me, as far as things that is, as you all know, I like a large part of my channel has been based on researching and debunking and diving deep into these conspiracies and the people spreading them and trying to really like show the money and show the people behind it. But sometimes, and weirdly enough, it seems like it happens more and more, and weirdly enough, it seems like it happens around Trump. Makes you think, right? It's that kind of shit. Like right there, that's some conspiracy shit. Like what I just did is like there are too many coincidences here that line up maybe just a little too perfectly, right? The idea that you've got dog, what are you doing? Stop it. My dog has something. Like the idea that there is going to be an open assassination attempt. This is, mind you, there have been times in the past where Secret Service have stopped people and it makes brief headlines, but nothing actually happens. You know, it's like Secret Service arrested somebody for sitting outside of the White House with a gun or whatever. And that happens every presidency all the time. It doesn't really make big news. But having a tangible action taken, right? Like the entire world saw on video Trump almost being shot or being grazed by a gun. That some people say that is shot. And not only that, so there was an attempted attempt on his life, but then he got the motherfucking photo opportunity of a lifetime. And it's already being shared around. Where's the left is now trending. I bet that's going to be just super rad to go into. Here it is. Here is if Trump wins, this will be a massive cornerstone of why. Like, this is giving the right wing the exact image of Trump they've been trying to push and trying to sell. The idea that he's been harassed and assaulted and he's doing this for the American people, but he's our strength and he's our rock and he's going to come back better than ever. Like, especially this one, this is the fucking picture that is going to make Time magazine by the end of the year. The like biggest fucking pictures of the year. Like again, remember when I'm talking about conspiracy posting, that there are things that just, I don't think it's a conspiracy, but it lines up so perfectly that at the end of the day, here's the problem. It doesn't matter. And I'm gonna tie this into a super chat. Thank you, KTSNA, for $10. For anyone making claims with no proof, please stop. This only causes more issues when piecing together an emerging story. Also, please stop with the jokes and things like better aim. Well, two things there. One, at the end of the day, yeah, like nobody, as I was saying at the beginning, it really doesn't matter who did it. Like, it doesn't. Because in this ecosystem we're in, between Twitter and 4chan and the traditional news media and all these other places that have been so atomized, where every different group has their own preconceived, prefabricated conspiracies ready to go, it doesn't fucking matter. Right? Because at the end of the day, what everybody saw is really the only tangible thing that they're going to imprint their conspiracies onto. So Alex Jones, right, is already going to be shilling, if he's not already, that they tried to take Trump down. The deep state is trying to get him. And everybody who believes Alex Jones is gonna just go into that. They're just gonna believe it. Right? The people who want to have a narrative already have a narrative over it. And that goes doubly for the Trump campaign. Like, it doesn't matter if it comes out 2-3 months from now that this was, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying in this hypothetical, if it comes out that this was a faked assassination attempt, that they tried to like position it and make Trump a martyr, and it worked in the polls, it won't fucking matter, because that'll be 3 months from now. That'll be 3 months worth of propaganda they got off of this. And they'll be able to say, nuh-uh, the people telling you that are an op. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, somebody is saying it's all political theater. Flora Nymph, thank you for following. And Trump, ever the showman, knows exactly how to capitalize on it. So, like, yeah, let me read this real quick. Trump sees outpouring of support after assassination attempt at rally stop. New York Post is a fucking rag, but I want to see what they're saying. Live blog. Actor Russell Brand, who hosts a conspiracy podcast, speculated the attack was brought on by Trump's fall from grace in the media. See? Praying for President Trump. You know, I fully expect him to make a post about it on Truth Social by the end of the day. I think the flag it's hung between two poles, so it appears to be upside down, but it's meant to be sideways. All right, everybody, let's take a come here. Let's take a quick lady break. No, come back up. The people want to see you. The people want dog. Rah. Dog. What? Dog. I love you. Okay. I will give you, what if I give you some treats? All right, give me 1 second, yo. Be right back. Oh, you booger. So for people asking, what do we do? Like, honestly, I feel like everybody kind of has already realized, what can we do? You know? That's the thing. The other thing that is really reminding me of Epstein is that, like, the second you heard Epstein died in prison, and everybody went off on their conspiracy theories. That was the moment, again, it was another case of like, it doesn't matter who's responsible. The people tangibly responsible for crimes against humanity, crimes against children, whether they're the Clintons, whether they're Trump, it doesn't matter. They're not, they weren't going to see, like at that point, we knew they weren't going to see punishment for their crimes. Two people died. All right, let me go. I'm going to try and look and see. Because that was the other thing, is nobody was really talking about, of course, because everything has to be about Trump. Nobody was really talking about who died. Like, if they were firing into basically an entire wall of people behind him. Like, I don't understand how you don't hit someone. Oh yeah, he's very well. He's completely fine. One bystander is definitely dead. Okay, footage of Trump's potential shooter being dragged out of a rally by police. Yeah, he's dead. Everybody wants to do the... All right, let's do... What do you think would have happened if he didn't miss? I'd be throwing a party. Do you want my honest fucking... Like, I'm sorry. Maybe that's a little harsh. I'm not advocating for anything. I had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying. Let me put it to you this way. I was at a restaurant, local shop, like 3 blocks away from my house. And as soon as I heard about the Trump thing on Twitter, I asked, hey, can you, because it's like a kind of sports bar. I go over there for wings. And they had sports on. I'm like, hey, can we switch the channel real quick? Something like big shit's going down. And the owner switched it and is like, oh, damn, Trump got shot? And this guy who I figured would just be like kind of uncommitted, like he looks like he might even be like more conservative leaning, like just a regular ass 40-ish-year-old white dude. And he goes, oh, somebody tried to shoot Trump? And I hear him, he muttered it under his breath behind the bar, but I heard him loud and clear. He didn't look at me or anything, but he was just like, he turned around, he's like, damn it, wish they didn't miss. And I'm like it is not anywhere near a like extremist position with this motherfucker, because so many people have seen all of the shit that he has continued to allow to grow. And I'm not Kaylin, I'm not saying that I want him to die. I am not advocating for anybody to go do anything, but somebody asked me honestly, if it happened, what would I do? Like something that is completely out of my power? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Crawford Fulton King, thank you very much for €4. I stand corrected, sorry. It seems fake as nobody else has been hit. Yeah, people have been hit. KTSNA, if anyone is worried about what to do, spend time with people you're safe with until this blows over. Try not to take trips that are unnecessary. Don't be paralyzed with fear over this. That's actually a really great recommendation. Thank you for the $10. It is... So I had somebody ask me earlier, what do we do? Right? And I don't know. I don't have the answers to the universe. I'm just a political analyst. I'm a streamer, you know. I'm a bread tuber. Like I'm nobody really. I just analyze things and try to come to the best conclusions and outcomes that I can. And analyzing this, and I already said it on Twitter and I already said it at the beginning, this is the best. Like, Trump is already on the forward foot in his campaign because Biden continues to take a massive shellacking. Like, just getting his ass beat by every photo opportunity, every speech he has, every interview he does. None of it is working right now. So Biden campaign is already on the back foot. And this, you literally cannot buy propaganda this good. Like, not only does it personally embolden Trump's martyr complex, embolden the narrative that everybody on the Trump side has been pushing. We saw it if you've seen my CPAC video. You saw all the people who sincerely, deeply believe that this billionaire who wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire is sacrificing for them. And now he has literally shed blood. And they are going to depict that as for the American people. That this is all for them. And that's going to have a couple knock-on effects, I think. I think it's going to have a knock-on effect with the militancy of Trump supporters. Where again, it was 4 short years ago. But I went to counter-protests against Trump people. Even though it was just like college groups and stuff around here. And every Trump person was brandishing a gun because they had just listened to all of the narratives about Antifa and Black Lives Matter burning things down. And that's what they sincerely believed anybody who opposed them were and were capable of. You know, like everybody was Kyle Rittenhouse brained. And I think that's going to get worse. Because now it's not just a matter of them believing that, oh, Antifa is going to come and burn down your city and George Soros is going to ship him in on buses. It's also a matter of they tried to kill our president. So that is a massive thing that you have to be, you personally, whoever is listening, you have to be careful of. Is that you cannot just go up, if there's a protest or something, you cannot just go up and start yelling in people's faces. Because there are going to be people out there who literally believe that you and people like you were responsible for this. And they are going to draw that conclusion. And the scary part is that is probably going to end in some kind of violence. So yeah, surrounding yourself with people who know you, who love you, who care about you is, you know, it's the exact same thing we were talking about, like with trans care the other day. It's like it is more important now than ever to be surrounded by people who are able to support you, and not just like your friends and your close, you know, your buddies and your pals, but to create networks of mutual aid and create outreach in your own community. This I was talking about it earlier. It's not just a queer or trans thing, although it certainly can be if you are trying to create outreach within your own queer community, wherever you may be. This is something that is bigger than just you, or bigger than just whatever identity groups that you happen to fall into or identify with. You need to have plans in place so that if you go to a rally, if there is a Trump rally or an anti-Trump rally or whatever, and you want to be there to support people, Biden has a statement. Okay. Well, this will be... Anyway, what I was saying is if you need to know things like escape routes. You need to know things like first aid. You need to know things like who has a medical kit. Like, it is not enough anymore that you just show up to give your support. You need to be active in that support, because it can mean helping others. And yeah, it's like, you know, it's just saying, and I kind of don't want to be a doomer, because I feel like everybody is trying to be a little bit more hopeful, but yeah, it's gonna get worse. Like, which is, here's the fucking problem. And sorry if I'm swearing a lot. A lot of this is just off the cuff, first impact. I forgot where I was going with that. Chucks McFlex, thank you very much for $5. This has me shook. There's a chance it's business as come 2025, but I'm prepped for anything. Going to save cash and get my passport renewed just in case. Yes. Well, and that's kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning, is that if Trump comes into power, right, 2025 does get enacted, a lot of people, granted, a lot of my audience will notice when they can't access their gender-affirming healthcare, or when they get ostracized and misgendered and fired and all sorts of other shit. But a lot of people's lives are going to go on completely unfazed. Which is, you can see that during the Holocaust. The amount of people, regular German people, or half Jews, or people who didn't fall into a certain group, just went on completely unfazed by what was going on around them. I saw them, it's a movie everybody needs to actually go see. And you can go find it on, I think I rented it on Amazon, or maybe it was on Tubi. Anyway, go find where it's streaming. Go watch Cabaret tonight. Go sit down and really look at Cabaret. Because that is a movie entirely about the rise of the Nazi Party, but filtered through the lens of people who don't pay attention to politics, filtered through the lens of people who are not affected by that rise until it affects them. And I watched it for the first time last week, 2 weeks ago. And it is one of the most chilling films. It's not even particularly like grotesque, or it's not very violent or anything else. But the way in which it captures the feeling that I think so many people have right now, the feeling of loss and isolation from the events that are happening around them, the feeling of just confusion of what to do. And then probably most damning, the feeling that it's just going to keep getting worse. And so many people would rather just bury their head in the sand. All right, let me see if anybody else is doing... Doesn't a large lore seeker, doesn't a large amount of the U.S. support trans rights, though? Like, not the majority, but just a large number of people. Wouldn't that be a bit different from the Jewish situation in Germany? Yeah, I don't necessarily mean, I didn't mean for it to sound like I'm comparing trans people to Jewish people in that comparison. It's less about that as a comparison and more about just the general rise of fascism and the people who ignore it until it's too late to ignore. What was I doing? Need somebody fucking live. All right, let's see what ABC is doing.
The leading candidate, soon to be nominated by his party as their candidate, someone attempting to apparently kill him. That is the feeling until they can prove that it's not the case. That is how.
Yeah, let me go look in the
in this moment.
Pierre Thomas for us. Thank you so much. I do want to note we are awaiting word from President Biden. There is a podium that has been set up there that is Rehoboth
and like,
Beach, Delaware. That's where President Biden was.
Here's the fucking like deeply
about 2 minutes out
terrible thing.
The president speaking tonight. Of course, he sent out that statement earlier.
Oh wait, hang on.
We know that the president has been briefed by his staff and by the
Fuck.
Secret Service. We're also learning.
All right, everybody shut up. God damn it, Joe, you cannot fuck this up right now. God, fuck Joe, come on.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for his own safety? With the security failing, Mr. President?
Well, I guess that was not as bad as it could have been, given how he's been lately. The really funny thing is that I truly believe if the roles had been reversed, if Trump was president and Biden had been shot, like, Trump would have just been making fun of him. Like, I really believe that. Yeah, but that was about what I expected. He didn't fuck it up in any big way. Short, sweet, denounced the violence, made sure to throw hands across the aisle and say, "Oh, you know, I'm in touch with Donald, and we're going to be chatting with him soon." Cool. Yeah, he would have called Biden a loser. Like, absolutely would have. Vamrir, thank you for $5. Can you say the name of the movie one more time? Also, just sorry to HRT. Love your channel. About you. Thank you very much. It's Cabaret. Caberet. Cabaret. Cabaret is how it's spelled. Footage of shooter dead on roof. All right, let me look that up real quick. Make sure it is work appropriate. All right, I'm just going to blank this out for a second. And then we'll go over the bystander news, because it seems like nobody really gives a fuck about the...
You can see the guy there.
I'll be goddamned. Holy shit. It was... So I guess, you know, content warning for a dead body from afar. So what happened earlier with the person, because we watched a video of the police taking somebody out of the crowd. I think that was the person who got shot behind Trump. But this is corroborated by what we saw earlier, where somebody was saying that there was somebody on the roof, and the guy in the Trump hat was pointing to the white roof over there. This is a white tin roof. Oh.
I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead. Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy is, he looks dead. Tá vendo?
Trying to see, all you can really see is a Trump hat, and like I'm trying to just make sure I don't think this would be. I'm trying to think of what other use case, like if this video would be from anything else, but Dead Magic. Guy had his head blown off and Trump almost died, and you guys are joking about if the roles were reversed, Trump wouldn't care. You people are insane. Trump wouldn't care. I can tell you that. I can absolutely tell you that. Trump doesn't have empathy. Like I don't know what propaganda you've been buying into, but the dude would sell his children for a cheeseburger. No, this is not staged. I don't think it's staged. I think it would be, I don't think Trump would agree to stage something like that. And certainly not, like when you look at Trump's reaction, it feels too real. Like it's not like a squib or something. It is like he rapidly goes for his ear as if something stung him, which is what a lot of gunshots feel like at first. Like it is just a sudden, if you realize it at all, if the adrenaline isn't already pumping, which is why some people don't even realize that they're shot, but if you realize it, it's like a quick, sharp pain. And that's exactly the reaction you see when he reaches for his ear. Mark Black, thank you for $5. Thank you so much for helping to keep us informed on this. Stay safe. You too, Lee Kessner, thank you for super chatting $2. All right, let's look at the bystander news. Shooter dead, DA says. Bystander have died. The shooter and bystander have died. Now let's go back to... a misguided follower of Trump or of Biden who's the shooter in your mind, what makes sense to you? I don't even know. Like, I couldn't tell you, if I'm being honest. I couldn't tell you. Like, and I was talking about earlier is that whatever's going to happen is going to come out, right? Like, whatever actually happened, we will find out probably by tomorrow, if not by next week. But that information pales into comparison that the knock-on effect it's going to have on the election. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was a QAnon person. It doesn't matter if it was Antifa. It wasn't Antifa. Like we've talked about earlier, Antifa isn't actually like an organized group. It doesn't have like a power structure, right? Next step for RNC delegates and state legislature after Trump shooting. Let's see. Heard someone it was a groiper. I don't know about that. Groipers are like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was gonna say like groipers wouldn't do that, but fuck, what do I know? I didn't think Donald Trump would be shot today. Yeah, Vinny Demon, that's a great point. Is that if Biden wanted to, he could have Trump arrested for January 6th. Bella Ray, I hate your stream content so much. This is one I'm down to drop in on. Why do you hate my stream content? Rude? I put a lot of work into streaming. Groipers are close enough to other people. All right, give me a second. I need to go refill my water, and I'll be right back. Okay. Back. Any news on who the suspect is? We just watched a video of somebody on a roof. It was somebody on a roof who is dead, is all we know. And based on another person's report, or somebody that the BBC interviewed earlier, that person had climbed up there with a rifle and had been sitting there for a while. And, yeah. All right. Mr. Jersey, thank you for super chatting $10. Everyone stay calm. We need to unite and spread what we know to as many people as we can. We cannot let Trump win because of this. We have to fight for an actual better America. Yeah. Obviously I completely agree with that. And part of the reason I wanted to stream was to not be a conspiracy theorist about this. To at least push back just a little bit about the rampant misinformation that's going on here. Because it's that is what you're going to see for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Right? That is what you're going to see. Reverb Darkness, thank you for gifting a sub to Marie Posita. All right. I want to see Bystander. Somebody has to know. The venue has to be cleared out by now. They have to know. Oh, there won't be a statement from the NRA. Bystander supported a shot. Reported deceased. 1 bystander dead. Shooter dead. Trump hit. I want to see if I can find how quickly after they were like, okay, well, that'll be... Spectator killed as bullets fly at Trump rally, leaving former president bleeding from his head with blood strewn across his face. An assassination attempt. 8 shots. Holy shit. All right. I only heard 4 or 5 on the video. Fired at least 8 shots at Trump and injured him, is dead. It was an ear injury. Unless they got something, like they got him to a car before showing more. Rally goer killed. Shocking bloodbath. I wouldn't... Sorry, I forgot this is a tabloid, the Daily Mail. Bystanders been released. Trump was mid-sentence saying, take a look at what happened when the shots began to ring out. Terrified. Yep, there's the moment. That's exactly what I was talking about. There's a moment where he goes to clasp his ear, and it looks like he's going to swat a bug, and he kind of stumbles a little. The shooter is down in moments after gunfire erupted. The president is being seen pushed. So here's the real problem with the conspiracizing. Is that part of the narrative, I can almost guarantee you, if the stuff around that person on the roof bears out, part of the narrative is going to become that it was a deep state operation, that they wanted to get Trump out of there because he was on a roof and Secret Service and everybody didn't do anything about it, which is very weird. But I want to know why myself. I'm already worried that is going to become part of the narrative. Oh. Jade, thank you for super chatting. New Zealand, $5. Love your stream content. My main concern is how Trump will leverage this to his advantage. Now his base will respond regardless of facts. Yeah, his base will respond positively. Like, here's the real crazy part, or the real part that will drive people crazy, is that there are going to be people swayed by this, right? Like, there are going to be people down the middle who might not like Trump, and they'll vote for Biden. They don't really like Biden either, but they're going to be swayed by this because this is going to be pushed endlessly by the Trump campaign as an example of a couple things. It's going to be an example of how much he's winning, which is why the left wants him out of there. how much the radical left is wanting to take out America. They want, because Trump, here's the narrative they're going to go with, mark my words, is that Trump is fighting for you, the regular person. And by attacking him, they're actually attacking you. So to get back at the elites, the globalists, the George Soros and Biden, whoever the fuck they blame, the narrative is going to become, you need to vote for Trump. And that will work on a bunch of people. Not applicable. Thank you for joining. And yeah, that photo is going to go alongside the... it's going to go alongside the mugshot. Like, it's going to be one that is in a couple days. Fuck, man. They already have the t-shirt presses spinning up. I know it. They already have the t-shirt presses going. Like, Trump is... Here's the thing. I give it a week, maybe less, before Trump is giving another speech. And at that first speech, keep an eye out, because there's always merch booths. At that first speech, there will be a merch booth selling a picture, selling a t-shirt with one of these pictures on it. With a picture of him with blood and holding his hand up. Like, it's just dark as hell. Starts with a C. Thank you for $20. Holy smackaroos. I'm praying Kamala replaces Biden since it seems very likely. People want it. Biden sees her as viable, and there's messages from Dems about it. She's rallying in Pennsylvania. This even is going to mobilize Trump's base, though. Yeah, I think Kamala is the only chance we have at this point. With how Biden has been lately, like, there has been a sinking feeling on the left, a deep sinking feeling of I feel everybody in the political establishment, like the right wing, knows it. You see people like Ben Shapiro talking about how like, oh, Biden should stay in the race because that's guaranteeing a Trump victory. It's like, and this is just another thing. Thank you so much, by the way, whoever gifted those subs. It's not showing on my thing. But a bunch of subbies are getting gifted right now. Yeah, no, Zarina Chess, at least Biden didn't call Trump Kamala in his presser. Like, I know Biden's people were back there being like, dude, you cannot listen to me. Biden, hey, smack, smack, smack. Do not fuck this up, Joe. Trump is Trump. The vice president is Kamala. President of Ukraine, Zelensky. All you got to go out there and say, shooting people is bad, then come off stage. That's it. And they gave him an ice cream as soon as he got back, and he was all good. Coda Anthony, Kamala doesn't speak much more competently than Joe does. No, but Kamala has attitude, which Joe does not have. Kamala has youth and the illusion of vigor on her side. Remdog Cap, I have a bunch of media of the victims, only blood, no gore. Do you want them? I don't have Twitter. No. I'm good. I know what people look like when they get shot. I'm not going to show it on stream. If people want that stuff, well, we just did or is Biden delivering another press conference, or? Thank you, though. I do appreciate it. But like, if we already saw the one body being hauled out, I'm assuming that is the fatality. We've already seen the person on the roof. Like, there's nothing really. I think if only one person is dead, or if only two people are dead, the shooter and the bystander, I don't think, like, we don't need to see more than that. We got some good far away shots. Everybody gets the idea. There's no need to be gratuitous. If people want to find that stuff, you can go. There are other places to find it. I don't really want to look at dead bodies all day. Donald Trump Jr. has said since his father is in good spirits and shared a tweet of his bloodied father with his fist raised, captioned, "He will never stop fighting to save America." Dramatic footage has swept the world showed popping sounds ring out as the 2024 presidential hopeful was on stage addressing a large crowd of supporters. Unclear where the shooter fired the shots from or what kind of weapon was used. Secret Service faced urgent questions about how they were able to put a former president, who is current favorite to be 47th, face mortal peril. Fuck you, Daily Mail. Fuck you. Ugh. President Biden says he is grateful to hear that Trump is safe and doing well and that he's praying for the Trumps while awaiting further information. Phoebe RC, had Trump been taken out, what would the effect have been? The world may never know. Or it might. Fuck it. I don't know. Like that is a true, like, here's the thing right now, is that this is just moving the barometer more towards Trump, like between the election, and it was already tilting that way, and especially in the last month, especially in the last couple of weeks, because of Biden's poor debate performance, the ABC interview, the after NATO press conference. We've all looked at him, we've seen him. It's already been ticking that way. This just feels like it's slamming it all the way to the other side of that marker, right? But it's a complete unknown. If Trump were, if this attempt was successful, it is a complete unknown what would have happened, because we are, there are no other presumptive nominees, right? Like every other major conservative, has presumptively dropped out of the race. So on the conservative side, and I saw this in the CPAC video, it has become a race for VP. Now, we don't know who the VP pick was, but Trump isn't ever going to pick somebody who's going to upstage him, right? So, like, even if the VP was leaked, whoever it was, I don't think it would probably be, like, the front runner. So they would have to, I don't know, they'd have to have, like, really scrambled to put something together. I don't, agent or witchery, I don't think it's staged or conspiracy, but I do think it's weird how he just immediately posed for the camera as soon as he was up. Like, did he practice if this was going to happen? I imagine, I don't think he, well, maybe in the mirror, but Trump is the kind of person who would want something like this. Like, here's the thing. And I know a lot of liberals and leftists and people on the left are going to be using that talking point. And I know you're not, but specifically, there's a lot of people who are going to be like, this, like, how was it this staged and he just took the perfect picture? And it's because that is who Trump is. Like, he has been a TV show personality. Like, he has been a just celebrity personality for 40, 50 years. Like, that has been his thing, is just giving his opinions on things and putting out this false aura of eloquence and refinement and all that dumb, just gilded bullshit that he convinced everybody with. And that is how he is. Like, if there's one person who will know how to capitalize on a photo op, that's him. He was born with media training. Like, yeah. Dennis7, thank you for subscribing at tier 1. Starts with a super chat of $5. Medicare is on his stream relaying the populist message you just described. So pretty much. Thank you very much. Yeah, so like it is a thing that I'm willing to bet Trump, here's Trump's mental process, is that he feels something, realize he's been A, shot, B, is completely okay. C is like, okay, I obviously, Secret Service, I can't just continue out here, obviously, but Secret Service is here. I'm gonna get this photo opportunity because, and if you go and watch the video, it's a little funny, but I know I've known journalists and photographers, and I know what they're like, so I'm like, I know exactly where their head was, but it's a little funny because as soon as the shots ring out, as soon as Secret Service rushes the stage, you see like 2 or 3 photographers from the like media pit run across and under the stage to start like gunshots are still popping out, and the photographers are like, oh shit, I gotta get the shot. Because that's the one thing that Civil War movie got right, is that photographers are really just busted like that sometimes. Baby Snake Master 420, thank you very much for following. Yeah, and somebody did ask, do I think there's a possibility of like real violence? Yeah. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but this will embolden... I mean, we've already seen it in the last 8-12 years, how since the Tea Party, the right wing has become more emboldened towards violence. We've seen it with the BLM protests. We saw it with things like Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, just look at how Kyle Rittenhouse has been hailed as a hero for murdering 2 people. And the conservatives will be like, oh, well, one of them was a pedophile. It's like, that is immaterial to the situation because he had no way of knowing that. He did not know that. It was a random person. It could have been anybody. The gunshot could have hit anybody. Now, they are already, like, I've at Pride events here in Spokane, at Pride events, at the BLM events I've been to, conservatives will come down and open carry their loaded assault rifles, fingers on the trigger. Well, not fingers on the trigger, but, you know, fingers on the trigger guard. Just to like, you know, strut and act Brody. And that is because so many, a lot of people mistake their friends and family who are conservative for the rest of the conservative population, because there are a lot of people who just vote for Trump because they like the aesthetic, who don't pay attention to politics that much, who might listen to one right-wing radio host, but for the most part, they're like pretty decent people, like otherwise would be entirely normal, right? And they don't have that many strong opinions. A lot of people in the Bible Belt are like this, where they're like, oh, well, I believe this, and I believe a man is a man and a woman's a woman. And there's all this other stuff because they've never actually met somebody from that demographic group. They've never actually interrogated what those opinions mean. They just kind of go with the flow, right? That's not who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about also the people like I was saying, a lot of people here is probably their father, their mom, their aunt, their uncle, somebody in their family who is, you know, we've always voted Republican in this house, and they have books from Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck on their shelf, and they read about World War II history and watch documentaries, and like they're just kind of your garden variety conservative. That's not who I'm talking about. Although, and as I've discussed a lot of this stuff, that kind of garden variety conservative has slowly grown more radical over time because of the MAGA movement, because of QAnon, because of the anti-vax movement, because of Save the Children, because of all of these things that continue to convince people to get more and more radical, to convince them that of deep conspiracies. People like Alex Jones convincing people that there's an evil Satanist cabal, you know, controlling the world. And the knock-on effect that has is that the people who are willing to brandish weapons, who are willing to be militant, believe that you are, not all of them, but there are going to be people out there, if you go to a protest or you go to a rally, and they are ideologically opposed to you, they're going to believe that you are not human the same way they are. They are going to believe that because you believe that trans kids should be supported and should be able to access hormone blockers, that you are a mutilating pedophile. They're going to believe that because you don't think Jews control the world, that you in fact are bought and paid for by George Soros or something. So to answer that question, is there a chance of like real violence spilling over? Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there is. And like I said earlier, the only thing that we can really do at this point is to be prepared for that eventuality. If you're going to a rally, if you're going anywhere where there's going to be a protest, which is your right to do and you absolutely should do, have a first aid kit. No escape routes. Keep in contact with the party you came with. Like, these things, and they might seem stupid or they might seem silly until they're useful. Rat Rumpus, I got yelled at by my mom a couple minutes ago for saying most former presidents deserve to be shot for war crimes. That's true. I mean, that's true. There is not a president who has not done a war crime. Lavendrous EP, thank you very much for following. Evie Bin, thank you very much for following. Final Meow Down. The Final Meow Down has super chatted. SEK65, thank you. I have an unnecessarily expensive bottle of champagne in the fridge. Complications, let's fucking go. I feel it. Can I get a recap in chat? Yes, Donald Trump was shot in the ear. He is probably going to be fine. One person in the crowd is dead, and the shooter is now dead. The shooter was set up on a... We've seen from two sources now. We saw direct footage from somebody who uploaded it to the web, and then from a guy who was pointing it out to a BBC interviewer that the shooter had been set up in a perch-like position along a tin roof adjacent to where Trump was speaking. And it's what does the road to 2025 look like now? And right now, I think it's a steamroll. Kippy, was the shooter shot at by Secret Service? Yes, apparently. In the colorful words of the MAGA guy who was talking to the BBC interviewer, Secret Service, and this is a direct quote, blew his head off. So I don't know what that means, because that could just be colorful language, or that could be what I saw in the video, which was taken from far enough away, so it was kind of obscured, was... All right, let's see. What is trending right now? Let's get a tab on what's going on right now with Trump. Sendere 151, I am really sad about the innocent person. Yeah, it is a bummer to me that nobody seems like I get it. Trump has a tangible, massive effect on world politics right now. So yeah, you're gonna care about it. But another person died. Somebody else was a pincushion right behind him for the 8 shots that Mr. Tin Roof missed. All right, let's see. Top. Everybody's got. Hey, you know what? I love this public forum, Elon Musk. It's so rad that massive world-changing events are happening, and it's just taken up by people posting memes, and that's the first thing we get to see because they bought a fucking blue check that says they're important. Rad. This is such a great way to consume news and media. So cool. Is it bad to say I'm sad they missed him? I don't know if I can say anything. See, y'all are getting me. I've been watching Synthetic Man for my research piece on Synthetic Man, and y'all are getting me, reminding me of him, where he'll go off on random conspiracies, and he'll be like, I gotta stop. I can't say anything. And let me just say, I've already had to, there are a couple tweets waiting in drafts. Right, I've already had to put some on the back burner. Anti-Apple for life. As a trans minor, what should I do if Trump wins? Well, I mean, I don't know how much of a minor you are. I don't. It's hard to say. Like, because if you're a minor, you don't have the ability to move on your own. You're probably dependent on your parents. I don't know if your parents support you or not. What I would hope, and what the eventuality, because for those who don't know, trans people are not having a great time right now because Trump just came out yesterday with a message that said that they're effectively going to try and ban federal support, which the mention of a lot of people are differentiating between banning HRT across all age groups, which would be very hard to do, and banning federal support, which is what Trump actually said. The difference there, however, I don't think is quite that consequential because I think it'll be taken as banning all HRT for a lot of states. But at a federal level, there are going to be states where it's still going to happen, a lot like Roe v. Wade, where there are going to be states that are going to fight back, rightfully so. And if you are in one of those blue states, if you're in like a Washington or a Washington, D.C., or like hopefully, not Washington, D.C., let's say Washington, D.C., California, hopefully Oregon might be a little washy. Like, the best thing you can try and do is get to one of those states. If you are a trans person, if you feel you might be at risk, to get to one of those shelter states. The problem is, as much as gender criticals and TERFs like to act like it, trans people are not a wealthy group. Like, every well, I don't want to say every, because now I've technically like met Abigail Thorne and stuff. So most trans people I know are poor. Myself pretty included. Like, I'm hovering just above the line. But like, I know a lot of people struggling really hard right now. And the idea of adding an entire move, especially for people who live in the fucking South, who live in Florida, who live in Texas, across country, adding thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in debt just so they can live a life where they won't be fucking fired because an employer doesn't like them, or won't be constantly misgendered and dead named in the schools that they go to. Like, it's fucking unconscionable. Awesome Kid TH, as another trans kid, talk with your parents and agree on a contingency plan. The one I have with mine is to get to a hotel in Canada and figure out what to do next. Just an example. Yeah. Axolotus, Illinois is a blue island in the Midwest as well. Lots of people already come to my local Planned Parenthood to access care they can't get in their state. Yeah, Planned Parenthood, another great recommendation. And a lot of people, Planned Parenthood goes incredibly unutilized in the trans community. Planned Parenthood, I get all of my gender affirming care through Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is the place to go. Like, if you are curious about getting on HRT, they have everything you need. They do entire blood workups there. They like do really quick testing. Like, it's a great environment, and they usually have staff who have already dealt with that stuff, which is a thing that a lot of people, when you go to your primary care provider, and this has caused a lot of problems for a lot of trans people, if you go to your primary care provider, odds are, if it's just a regular run-of-the-mill like clinic or place that you go, they probably don't know about trans care. Planned Parenthood generally does. Another thing that Planned Parenthood is really good about is PrEP, which, if you are sexually active in the queer community, you should be on PrEP. Like, that's just true. Mocha Pancakes, as a trans mask minor, I'm honestly scared of being shot on the streets, especially because I have a conservative right across the street. Oh, fuck. All right, let's look on Trump. On Trump Truth Social. I would say Mocha Pink. I'm unable to. Oh, because I have a VPN? Fuck you, dude. What? Okay, whatever. I'll find it on Twitter, I'm sure. What the hell? You can get those kind of like apparatus on Amazon for fairly cheap. Get one of those carbon fiber extendable rods, Because you need to defend yourself, and that's a blanket statement, I would say, for literally anybody. God, Blair White made a post. Okay. He just confirmed being shot. This is from the parody Marjorie Taylor Greene. Donald Trump. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response in the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. That's very odd. What an... The shooter was wearing high heels? What? What? Where are you getting that? I just saw somebody say the shooter's wearing high heels. God damn it. Is the sound gone? Dog? Okay. You. Can people hear me? You are muted on Twitch. Over on Twitch. Cool. No, we can hear you. Yeah, it's just Twitch. It's just Twitch. Awesome. Love it. Twitch. So rad. SS said that Trump got hit with glass, not a bullet. Did like the glass bounce off the... I mean, somebody's going to have like a 3D mock-up or a breakdown or something soon. Charlie Blueberg, thank you for $1.09. I'm gay, living in Texas. I'm genuinely scared. Connect with your local community. I don't know how old you are, and that's something I forget. I have minors in my audience, so that's something I commonly forget. But if you are in a community, if you're of age, like try and go to, even if it is just like a drag brunch, like a gay night out, local gay bars, like whatever. And this is if you are of age. Do not try and go to these things if you are not of age, obviously, because those are also like places where you can meet fellow people and connect. It's not, it doesn't have to all just be like community outreach and soup kitchens and like stuff like that. Yeah, Twitch, I don't know what's going on. I don't. Let me see if I can write in Twitch. All right, give me a second. No, thanks. Stop it. There, God. All right, I've said it over on Twitch. Let me go to. I want to see what Blair White is saying. Is this the only thing he's posted? Yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna be. All right, yeah. Let's see what Blair White says, because now we got the fun part of seeing what every brain dead conservative has to say and how quickly they're going to blame the left. The Lore Seeker, thank you for super chatting $10. Why do so many people seem to be more keen on running away or giving up as opposed to fighting for the right to exist in this country? Stream chat seems so doomerish. I don't think it's useful. I mean, because here's the problem is that what else is there to do outside of advocating open violence? Like, which I'm not. But what else is there to do to fight for your rights in this country? Especially against somebody like Trump, who is like openly advocating, it's like taking trans people's rights away. Tara Billie Jean, thank you for 1,000 bits. Silent choo choo. Prince Bagel, sorry, I totally missed your 100 bits. Okay, I think I have some words to put to feelings now. I'm not happy or celebrating this sort of thing just because violence perpetuates violence, and I believe in leading by example, being the goodest I can to counter the evil of the world. That being said, Trump and people in power have historically never given a fuck about the people they destroyed. True. That they chew up and spit out. We all were waiting for this to happen, but the ripples will lead to even more strife. Yeah, like I think you nailed it. Like you nailed it right there. It was like, and to go back to what you were saying, Lore, earlier, is that I think this is like, everybody is doomerish right now, and that's fine. That's why I'm streaming. I want everybody to be able to get their feelings out in an honest way that is like coming together, because we're all feeling the same shit. What is there's a track by Dave, the rapper Dave. Something about we all walk down the same streets, we all cry the same tears on different cheeks. You know, it's like, and I think there's a truism to that, in that everybody's here experience is different. But in this moment, we all have a very similar reaction. Like, we all have different parents, different relationships to people, different people in our lives who might agree with Trump, or we've had fights over Trump. And like, but at the end of the day, we have all come together to know that, oh shit, this is fucking bad. And this is just giving a space to those fears, to those ideas. Inkscript, thank you for super chatting $5. As I share my woes with Mary J and Don Julio, I truly feel like the last months of my life and the lives of many marginalized people just started. No. That doesn't have to be the case. And that is the kind of doomerism I don't want to see. Is I don't want to see people saying that it's over for you, because it's not. It doesn't have to be. If you live your life for anything, let it be just out of pure spite. Diz is living, thank you for the highlighted message. Just yesterday went to the store, and while I was walking in, some guy sitting in the parking lot stuck his head out the window and kept yelling no rainbow shit at me. He saw short hair and got so mad that he felt the need to keep yelling at me while I was just minding my business. Sorry, I laugh at that. It isn't funny, but it's also a little funny. Like, that's the, I laugh at that because that is the kind of situation I would laugh at if I was in it. Not because it's funny, because that sounds like, that is scary. Like, that could be you don't know anything about that person. That is genuinely dangerous. And again, it goes hand in hand with what we were saying earlier about radicalization, is that there are people who believe, and thanks to libs of TikTok and people like Matt Walsh spreading the narrative that like there's a trans epidemic of transgender shooters. There are people who now also see trans people who are, like, by and large, probably one of the least violent demographics out there. But conservatives now see them as unhinged lunatics. And guess what? Like, people are going to use that, just like they have with racial minorities, just like they have with all kinds of identities over the years, is that if they're told that they're dangerous, then they are able to justify repelling them with force because of the danger they've been told about. Doesn't matter if they actually are dangerous. And so that, I mean, that's just another thing to keep in mind moving forward. Travis Kerr, thank you for $5. I suddenly missed the days of the Stellar Blade discourse being the worst thing going on. Yeah, fuck. I never thought, like, 3 months ago, I would be like, man, I miss Stellar Blade discourse. But no, you're right. My sister wanted to say something to him, and I had to tell her not to, that she doesn't know what he will do or he will hurt us. Yes, Diz is living. You did the right thing. That's another important thing to think about. Is there is a difference between, by the way, somebody, I don't take this as me saying like back down, but there is a difference between running away and knowing when it's not worth it, right? Because you're absolutely right. You have no idea if that person had a concealed weapon in his car, what he would do, how dangerous, how much he would find you to be a threat, how much he would act on that. Now, if he was actively harassing or hurting somebody else, I would say at that point, yeah, your sister probably should go step in. If you do not think that he has a weapon that can hurt you or somebody else, and you can interject and help somebody else, then I think you have a moral responsibility to do that, right? And I would say that you have a moral responsibility to do that even if he does have a weapon who can hurt somebody. Like, you should not let violence go unanswered if it is in your immediate sphere, if it is hurting somebody who has no way to defend themselves, right? That being said, there's a difference between that, and I have to pull one of my partners away from doing this because she gets a little, like, she is very impassioned. There's a difference between that and somebody who is kind of like looking for a fight or doesn't know when to pick their battles, right? Which is another thing, like, that's another thing to look out for at protests, is there are always going to be some of the punk kids who just want to fucking fight, and they make everybody look bad. And they aren't there to actually help or support. They're there as an outlet for their anger. And that will do nothing but get people hurt. Probably, more likely than anything else, either them or the people around them, not the people they actually want to fight. Kester Rain, thank you for $5. Much love to all my trans and queer siblings. As a two-spirited, queer, disabled native, we'll all make it through this shit. Just keep hanging in there. God, I fucking hope so. First time chat, thank you very much. Cynicism, it's 4 a.m. and I just found out about an epic fail in Team Fortress 2. Sniper had a clean shot and lost his team the game. Yeah. Should it, like... It's always when it's just a couple inches to the left. Or the right. Whatever. But yeah, if you go to, on the subject of protesting, because there are going to be a lot of protests. There are going to be a lot of protests. If you go to protests, it is imperative that your optics for keeping people safe are not just... It is not just a matter of being prepared for somebody else to do violence, but to make sure that your side is not instigating the violence. Because here's the thing. Those people will not look out for you. The people who are trying to start shit on your side are not the kind to care about their fellow person. If those kind of people, the kind of people who go on the left side to go and start shit, not to stand and protect others, like you saw a lot of Antifa who did that, who would put up shields, who would help others in their crowd, who would throw back tear gas canisters. But the people who are there to just, like, break shit and set shit on fire, not necessarily for any grand political cause, not because they actually believe in what they're doing, but because they want to set shit on fire because it's fun. And when the tear gas canisters, I'm speaking from experience, when the tear gas canisters start popping off, they will not be there. They will not still be trying to hold the front line. They will not be handing out water to get the tear gas out of the hands, of the eyes and mouths of the other people protesting alongside you. And so, like, you need to do your best to try and control and silence those people, because they only get others hurt. Now, some people, and do not get it twisted. Really quick, I'll answer these super chats. Mythical Phoebe, thank you for $10. I know I'll get hate for it, but I used to be an extremist conservative. I just want to send a message that it's never too late to turn a corner. Accept yourself. I started HRT 3 weeks ago. Congratulations. I am very proud of you. Sophie, thank you for $4.99. I'm really freaking out. Is this as big of a deal as I think this is, or am I catastrophizing? Probably a little of column A, a little column B. If I'm being honest, I can't speak to your own experience and how much you're catastrophizing, but you're probably catastrophizing a little bit too much. I see that a lot. Even, obviously from my own community and everybody, is that yeah, these are dominoes that continue to fall, and they do continue to get bigger and worse. But there are still so many things we can do. And it is not as though we're going to wake up tomorrow, the day after today. It is not as though when we go to sleep tonight, we are going to wake up tomorrow and the fascist world order we have been dreading is going to be in effect. So what can you do? You can use tomorrow and the day after that and every day until that day to form bonds, to form mutual aid groups, to help educate and illuminate, to help dispel people's lies. Because as we just talked, Mythical Phoebe just sent in a couple bucks. I used to be an extremist conservative. I just want to send a message that it's never too late to turn a corner and accept yourself. Now, I don't know Mythical Phoebe's story, but I think if her only experience with the left, I'm assuming gender, I think if their only experience with the left was assailants at marches, was the people who want to just go there and start fights, I think if there was never a voice on the left who was open to understanding and accepting and trying to educate and illuminate, Phoebe wouldn't be in the chat right now, right? I don't think, I mean, there are obvious cases of extremity. Like Nick Fuentes, nobody's going to convince fucking Nick Fuentes, right? But I don't think it's too late to try and really reach out to anybody. I think that goes also for parents, that goes for family. Because here's the thing. As bad as events like this can be for galvanizing a political movement, for strengthening and fortifying the beliefs of people who already believe in MAGA and believe that Trump is the God Emperor and all that stuff, for a lot of people in the middle who watch the reactions to these things, they can be just as useful for poking holes in those ideas, in displaying how extreme the right wing really can be. Thank you very much, Stace Tanic Panic. Jackalope, thank you for following. The Lore Seeker, thank you for $10. Goodness gracious. Extra money for support. Sorry if it came off as cold-hearted / non-empathetic earlier. Just saddens me to watch people in such a state. I'm cis, but I have mad respect for trans people. Keep going. Thank you. And I didn't think you came off as cold-hearted, but I totally understand the question. It is hard. Like, I feel the reason that I keep hopping on streams with this stuff, and especially like with the Biden stream the other day that I made a video of, is that the shit is hard right now. It's like I would rather try and be here for each other and try to like all come together and think of these things and think of what we can do and figure something out rather than just doomer posting alone. As much fun isn't quite the right word, but as much fun as it can be to just go down the timeline every time something awful happens and just joke about it. Like we all know that, you know, browsing Twitter and seeing what our favorite commentators are saying, it's just a way to cope with the fact that we're all feeling that same sickening, sinking feeling right now. And so I come on here and I try and I hope that I am able to kind of I don't know, illuminate for some people like the potentials of what you can do. And Angry Goose, thank you on Twitch. I was never an extreme conservative, but I was circling the chud drain, and I'm solidly leftist now. Yeah, I'm hoping my next 2 big video projects, I'm hoping I am going to be targeting specifically trying to target young, predominantly white, but young straight men who are going down the chud drain. Because I think there is it's an underappreciated isn't the right word. It's an underrepresented group in leftist politics, not because there's fucking tons of straight white men, but in terms of who we pay attention to, because so many of them are just written off as chuds and incels. And then when they go over to the chuds and incels are like, oh yeah, all of these people hate you for being white, for being a man, for all this other shit. And like, then you wonder why there's so many over there. And so it is I'm going to be making 2 videos that are really about empathy and understanding and the different perspective of like why so many people feel so fucking hopeless. Not just white people, but everybody, and the commonalities there. The pup, thank you for super chatting $5. At this point, I wish we had a start over button for this whole thing. Yeah, just I wish we had like a reboot for the simulation, honestly. Awkward Nugget 870, you already helped me understand what the hell is happening and helping me stay in my own opinion. Thank you. Yeah, Duckley Ree, my cousin is turning into a chud. It's depressing to see. How old is he? Is like probably around 15 to 17. Oh, I should go on my alt and look up Brianna Wu's tweet. I bet it's a banger. Prince Bagel, thank you for 100 biddies. IDK for my message sent because no signal, but I have some words to put to feelings now. I'm not happy or celebrating. Yeah, oh yeah, we talked about your yours earlier. You know what? The audio may have cut out. I'm not happy or celebrating this sort of thing because violence perpetuates violence, and I believe being the goodest I can to counter the evil of the world. That being said, Trump and people in power have historically never given a fuck about the people they destroy, that they chew up and spit out. We all were waiting for this to happen, but the ripples will lead to even more strife. Yeah, we've talked about that at length. It's been like, and that's what I was saying. Like, as soon as it happened, as soon as I saw it on the TV, and as soon as I saw it on Twitter, I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what like who's responsible. What matters is how it's going to be used by people like Trump. Let me see. I did want to actually get to what Blair White has been saying. Great. Jesus Christ, Blair. You know those old whores on The View are going to try and make this about gun control on the next episode. Bully every liberal loser bitch shouting staged. God, what a... Like, truly an like, what a fucking terrible person. Blair, I bet you can't aim either. I could tell she's, like, legitimately pissed, too. Like, she's actually mad. All right, who else do we got? I don't want to do... I want to see what Chai is saying. The left are just mad Trump is still here. Well, I'm not happy he's still here. If I'm being honest. Oh, does she not... I saw somebody say heels. I'm curious where they got heels. So I'm gonna see if the shooter's wearing heels. Okay, well that's not breaking. Yeah, I'm praying how this gunman is not any variety of queer. It doesn't seem like it. It's like from what I've seen. Okay, hang on. No. All right, I want to see identity. Because that is going to be the biggest determination of what this whole thing looks like going forward. Is covering up the identity beliefs of the shooter now and responding to Dan Bongino. See, we're already like, as soon as it happened, people were baking. They were in the kitchen cooking. All right. God, you square-headed dipshit. Banned by YouTube. Good. BB gun. You don't hate the media nearly enough as you should. Oh, fuck off. All right, let's see what BB gun is that. I know people are Sir Longpoke, thank you for $2. Pray this gunman isn't gay. Yeah. Emma Roofing Cromer, thank you for $5. I'm in CT and trans, Connecticut and trans. I have community in my very queer affirming church. Awesome. Do you think I will be reasonably safe / able to get HRT here if he wins? I don't know what Connecticut is like, but you're over by like Connecticut's by Tennessee, right? Do New England. Well, I know it's over in the New England area, but how close is it to something like... Oh, it's right under New York, isn't it? Okay. I mean, like, the closer... Oh, right up by New York, Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah, I know where it is. Yeah, it was one of the 13 I had to remember as a kid. As long as it's... like, I don't know. That middle area is getting fucked up. You know, I am thinking... You're right, I am thinking of Kentucky. I think Connecticut should probably be fine. I haven't heard many... Yeah, I haven't heard many bad things coming out of Connecticut. I think Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New York, I believe Rhode Island's still pretty blue. Tyler does thank you for $5. Moving to Wisconsin to start a new life. Been in the works for months, staying with a friend. It's only been possible to move thanks to friends giving me the support I've needed for years. If I had one takeaway from anyone watching, it's never too late. Thank you very much, Tyler. I think that is incredibly valuable for a lot of people to hear right now, and thank you for sharing your story. Looks very staged. Sound like a BB gun. Nobody in the crowd is running or panicking. That's because nobody... First off, yes, people are. Watch. Wow, they recorded the whole fucking thing. Like, as soon as it happens, everybody ducks down. Like, nobody in crowd running or panicking. You don't know where the shooting is coming from. You don't run and you don't panic. God, some people are so...
And the guy. Can't stand him. Fuck his legacy. The guy's a fucking liar. It's as simple as that.
Okay, that's something else. Not a gunshot wound. He faked it with blood pill, nothing more. Come on, man. Like... Yeah, it's we're already seeing like blue anon. It's like it's just blue QAnon in here. Like you what possible like there are two, like we have confirmation of 2 dead bodies. What utility does it serve someone to take a shot at a presidential candidate with a fucking, like, what would probably be a non-fatal rifle, a BB gun, a BB, perched up on a roof? Also, then how did the other person die if it's a fucking BB gun? Like, I'm not relying on Twitter for news. I'm just looking through. I saw somebody say don't rely on Twitter for news. Oh yeah, no, people are fucking. Oh, I bet TikTok is going crazy for this. Decipher, I'm about to sleep. What the hell happened? Trump got shot in the ear. He's fine. But you better believe that this is everything they needed for, like, yeah, it's what kind of gun was it? We do not know yet. Do not know yet. Lord Seeker, you consider yourself a leftist and not a liberal. Yes, I am a leftist. I do not consider myself a liberal. It's always funny when people, right-wingers, come into my comments and they're like, oh, another stupid liberal. It's like, oh, buddy, hang on. I promise you I dislike Joe Biden more than you. I made a joke. I already deleted because, like, as soon as I made it, there were 3 people who were like, this is funny, you should probably delete this. The joke was like, maybe we should just have somebody take a shot at Biden just to even the odds of the race. Because, like, what is the worst that could happen? Like, which, hey, I'm just a joke. It is just joking. Just some funny ha-has. The Laughing Man, thank you very much. $2. Dan Bon Oingo Boingo. So true. Yeah, Dronder, we watched that video with the BBC interviewer at the beginning. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's the easier thing, I feel, and that's why conspiracies happen. We've talked about it on my channel all the time. We've talked about it in so many videos where the conspiracy is the easier thing to believe because the alternative sucks, right? Like, it is easier to believe that this was a setup to make Trump look good because, unfortunately, it does. There's just no 2 ways about that. Propaganda-wise, this is amazing for him. Like, you cannot buy better propaganda than this, right? It's easier to believe that this is a setup for that propaganda than somebody actually tried to take the president's life and catastrophically messed up, like, so poorly. This is the worst assassination attempt. This is going down as a bad one. Doesn't really matter who the Dems put on the ticket now. Yeah, like, I would say Kamala would still be better, but this is fucking rough. This is rough. Sir Longpoke, thank you for $2. I've been telling you to invest in military gear. That is solid recommendation. See, here's the thing. I don't want to be on this stream in particular because I've talked openly before about how I am completely for gun rights and how I believe pretty much everybody should, not pretty much everybody, there are people who shouldn't own guns. But if you are a leftist and you think you are in an area where you may be in danger, you should have a gun for protection. And I've had a lot of people, you know, whip me on the hand and be like, no, that's a bad leftist. We shouldn't need guns. And I'm like, sorry, we live in a world where people with guns want us dead. And you had better believe that there are people out there right now, and this is not all conservatives. I'm not saying this is all conservatives or all Trump voters, but there are radicals out there right now who will be looking for a chance to use events like this as an excuse. Like, that is just the facts. And so, as I've said earlier, as I've been saying the whole time, you should not, give them that excuse. You should not go looking for those fights. But at the same time, if those fights seek you out, you need to be prepared for the safety of not just yourself, but your friends, your family, your community, and people around you. Aaron W. Nichols, thank you for $5. We're so F now. Presidential nominees that survive getting shot inevitably win. Look at Teddy Roosevelt and Reagan as examples. Yes. Yeah. I mean, hey, there's 2 old dudes. There's a lot of fucking There's a lot of time left, so we'll see. Armin Harper, thank you for $5. I think at this point our priority should be to get involved with mutual aid and build communities so they can't keep us down if/when things get worse. Yep, that's what I've been saying. Armin, I don't know if you just got here, but I've been basically saying that for like 2 hours. Like that is my like go-to. If you are wondering, for anybody who's new in chat, because this is by far the most people I've ever had watching a stream, and I'm not nervous at all. If you are wondering, what do I do? How do we stem the tide of fascism in America? I don't know if you can. But I know, because nobody can do these things alone, right? But I know that you don't need to be alone to make a difference. That you alone can make differences in the lives of people around you through positive change. And helping others to realize that, joining with others to help make those changes, is what you should be focused on. And it's not just a matter of, because mutual aid is a big part of it, right? Like being knowledgeable of who is in your community, who needs help, how you can best help people in your community, how you can advocate for them, going to city council meetings, becoming active in local politics. Because here's the other aspect of that. It has a knock-on effect of, if you identify whatever far-left identity, if you are far-left, if you're not, whatever, if you call yourself a communist, you call yourself a socialist, whatever, there's the knock-on effect of showing through community outreach, organization, and activism that the people out there who hear communists, who hear socialists, and it summons to mind like, oh, those people are evil. Those people, are they racist? I don't know. Because a lot of people, especially in fucking America, have no fucking clue what those terms mean. So if you actually put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, if you actually live by the principles that you want to see in society, that is just one of many ways that you can make small changes by changing people's minds, by getting out there and actually doing the fucking work. Bethel, thank you for $9.99. Thank you for your journalism. We protect us. That is what everybody should be focused on right now. Steezy, thank you very much for $9.99. Why can't progressives support Biden? One thing about the conservatives is they are fully the Trump party, while Dems are just infighting after this photo op. It's never been so over. I mean, you're not wrong. I think the problem, part of that is that, like, every progressive I know, every leftist, liberal, except for like extreme vote deniers who are like, I'm not voting for Biden at all, which I think is dumb. Because everybody realizes, if you have a brain cell in your head, you realize that it's Biden or Trump. Like that's what it's coming down to. I had plenty of people in my comments saying like, oh, well, what about JFK Kennedy Jr.? And it's like, you listen to him talk for a single second and then you tell me that again. Tell me he is the third option. Like, no. Unfortunately, it's Biden or it's Trump. But as a progressive, and this is why you hear so many people farther to the left speaking out about Biden, is because when you look at the totality of how we got to this point, how we got to Trump v. Biden, the fate of the nation, round fucking 3 for Trump, it's through like the stultifying ineptitude of the centrist liberal Democrat establishment. Through people like, it's ironic that Nancy Pelosi is now even saying, like, at least inferring Biden should step down, because it's the people who for so long have been telling us, oh, they go low, we go high, who have been relying on identity and respectability politics while their opponents have continued to lie and smear them and pass conspiracies that have constantly endangered them. Like, people don't remember the shit that happened during Trump. Like, do you remember the dude who broke into the Pelosi's house? Like, do you remember Comet Ping Pong and the pizza parlor? Because they thought there were like QAnon cells full of children they were stealing adrenochrome from in the basement. Do you remember what was the dude, Cesar Sayoc, who sent like bombs to members of Congress? Was it Congress? Mail bombs targeting 65 felonies. Yeah. Trump critics, prominent Democrats setting off a frenzied investigation. Like, this wild shit has been, it's lowered a little bit under Biden, but now it's resurgent again. And I think people have forgotten how fucking radical and how fucking scary it's been. And for so many people, like, there are people out there who have managed to snap out of it, but for a lot of people, it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten more dire. And that's the way, that's why when Trump first started his like ascension to this kind of cult-like figure, a large part of the analysis around that, and when people were like, oh, well, it's very similar to Hitler for this reason, this reason, this reason. But when you actually line up Trump's ascent to a cult, one of the big things, and this is why QAnon is also kind of a cult, is that one of the big things with a cult is that they always need to find new reasons why they're correct, right? Like, it doesn't matter how many times you can scientifically or factually prove them wrong. It doesn't matter if they say, oh, okay, the Earth is going to end on this day, so everybody get ready and the aliens are going to take us up, and then that day comes, and then the cult leader gets to be like, oh, actually, you know what? They were testing us. It's the next day. And you have 100 people following that cult going, oh, okay. Because that goalpost has been moved, and they are so invested, they can't not move with it. And so you have people, think of that goalpost moving, where people are just attached. They are hanging on to the goalpost as it's being moved. And you have so many things that they've gone through at this point, from QAnon to anti-vaccine measures to Fauci to January 6th to the Trump trials, the Russiagate, all this shit. And there is a contingent of people who continue to get more and more and more and more and more radical. And I think that is a large part of why there is such galvanized central support behind Trump and the MAGA movement, because people like Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, a lot of those people see where the wind is blowing. Like, they know, even if they don't necessarily, and I don't think many of them actually like authentically believe all the shit that they show for, but they know there's gold in them hills, right? Like, they know that being on the Trump train is the key to sticking around, at least right now, until something else comes along. And I think the problem with why progressives have a harder time galvanizing behind Biden is because there's very little he's done tangibly to stem the tide of that continuing extremist rhetoric, outside of simply trying to reach out and trying to like, it's like you have somebody who thinks you're a murderer, and you're not, but they wholeheartedly believe that you are. And you try and invite them over for cookies. And that's Biden, right? All of these people already hate him. Like, there is such a contingent of Trump voters who hate Biden. And he has done a lot in the last 4 years to try and just kind of smooth that over, to try and work with all the Republicans in the Senate and the Congress. And not a fucking thing is taken. It hasn't worked at all. And that complacency is a large part of why we're fucking here yet again. Renaroo, the cat is fine. I promise you. Mighty Mulatto, in the main, nothing fundamental will change. Political conservatives will scream bloody murder if not investigated properly by the administration. Yeah. Well, no, even if properly investigated, again, we've seen here on Twitch, like, we're already seeing both conservatives and Democrats, like, making their own conspiracy theories in real time. Like, it does not matter what actually comes out of this, because they've already made up their mind. Like, there are people out there who are like, whatever Alex Jones says, let me actually see, what is their band.video? He's got to be having a special event or something right now. Cat, you are fine. What? I want my food. Post-Truth Society. Yeah. All right. Come on, Alex. I know you got something for me. Really? Nothing? Like Infowars.com? Are you streaming there? Nishia, I swear to God, this thing has me so stressed. I've just been drinking all night. Drink water and stop drinking. It, like, drinking yourself into a hole, doing substances is not, that is not the way. If you are not, especially if you are doing it alone, not the way to handle it. Like, straight up, not the way to handle it. I don't want to tell anybody how to live your life. You are a grown adult, I'm assuming. I hope so, if you're drinking. But speaking from experience, depression is not made better with alcohol. If you are out socially drinking, if you have friends around you who can keep you safe and all that, like, maybe that's a little bit better, but I would refrain from doing that because there's no tangible good to be gained from that. It is just going to make you more depressed. Anarcho-Garfism, thank you for following. DD, are you human? Don't disappoint me by saying yes. I don't know. I think that's such a weird question. Why would you phrase it that way? Alex wasn't with them. Oh. Pray to God for Trump. Critical link. Boo. But also, like, I'm sure tomorrow or maybe later tonight, Alex will have something out. But the emergency warning, deep state will try to kill Trump. Which, by the way, is something Alex has been saying for so long. Like, Alex Jones has been saying, oh, they're gonna the deep state, the globalists are gonna, they can't, Trump is going against the globalists, like they're gonna set up something to kill him. He has literally been saying that for so long. It is just like every false flag warning he's ever given. It doesn't fucking matter, because even if he was technically right, he has been saying, it's like if a clock goes around, and like the old saying, broken clock is right twice a day, right? Because it has to go over the same hand at some point. But it's like, if every hour on the hour Alex Jones is saying it's going to be 12 o'clock, it's like, okay, but next up it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he can only be so wrong so many times, but he just needs to be right that once to get so much heat off of it. Like, he has such a deep well of conspiracy about this stuff, and it's so it's infectious. Like, it has infected. His level of conspiracy has infected such a wide swath of the conservative audience in a way that I think is even worse than it was 4 to 6 years ago. I think Alex Jones was kind of on a decline at some point during the Trump era, and January 6th and COVID and him, like, the stuff that was like in Alex's wheelhouse that he could be like, okay, I can talk about microchips and globalism and how Bill Gates is pushing all this stuff and is going to sterilize everybody. Like, those were the things that Alex Jones was like able to jump on and capitalize, to the point where, like, now he's chummy with Tucker Carlson, who, granted, Tucker is no longer the big rising star he once was, but he's chummy to a point of being like tight in a weird way. It's Snugglecat. Thank you for resubscribing for 6 whole months. Kitty, what do you want? Okay, I will be right back. I'm going to go. Let me put on some. We'll take a look at some video. I'm sure that some YouTubers already have some stuff up. So we'll go look at that really quick after I need to use the restroom and feed my cat. Let's do. I put on a soundtrack for y'all real quick, and then we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. All right, I'll be right back. No, it shouldn't get copyrighted. I don't think it shouldn't. Snugglecat, assassination of JFK led to the Gun Control Act in 1968. I further suggested elsewhere, some Democrat needs to jump on this opportunity to introduce major gun control legislation. They wouldn't do it. Like not saying the Democrats, like somebody might, but they would not. It wouldn't make a difference. The right wing still wouldn't. Like there's too much of a gravy boat attached to the NRA to the point that there are a number of lawsuits. Like, I need to actually do a video about this at some point because there is a deep well of gun control safety measures that I think I might have heard about this first on Knowledge Fight. It was either Knowledge Fight or QAA, but there's a deep well of gun control safety measures that have been constantly fought against by the NRA that originate from accidental discharges, like guns that are just sitting there, loaded, that go off without warning and kill people, often children or the elderly. And like gun control lobbies have been able to advocate against like stricter reforms on that stuff because they get to sell it as, oh, they're trying to take your guns, they're trying to control your weapons, and like it's just the same bullshit. Moral Culture, thank you very much for following. All right, let's go. Let's just look at last hour.
More like what we heard. The bullets rattling around the grandstand. One hit the speaker tower, and then chaos broke. We hit the ground, and the police converged to the grandstands. First thing I heard was a couple of cracks, and then I saw a hydraulic line from one of the speakers looked like it had gotten hit. And I heard, like Chris said, a couple of bullets rattling around, and then we hit the deck. And once the authorities converged, we assisted with the two patients that may have gotten shot up in the grandstand, and we cleared a path for getting them out of the way. And it's just a sad day for America. Well, after I heard the shots got fired, then the hydraulic line was spraying all around. You could see the hydraulic fluid coming out of it, and then the speaker tower started to fall down. And then we heard another shot that you could hear. You knew something was. It was bullets. I mean, it wasn't firecrackers. I mean, they weren't super loud shots, but you could tell they were you could hear it landing. The ammunition landing on metal. Yeah, it was. And then we just kind of took cover behind it. There was a farm tractor there. We just told everybody to get down. We tried to get them to move back because at that time we didn't know if we were still an active shooter. And then turned around and we were concerned for the president to beat Trump. And we saw him stand up, and it looks like
president to beat Trump.
Secret Service really had huddled around him, and then he got up and then he gave the motion it was okay. And then after that, we was just trying to get out safely.
Now, Camathesia on Twitch saying, I don't think it's this, but is it possible it could be staged? I've been seeing it all over Twitter that they sound like a BB gun or airsoft. No. I don't think it was a BB gun or airsoft guns. Here's the problem. A lot of people think guns sound like they do in, yeah, they're both wearing like fireman helmets, but just regular t-shirts. A lot of people think guns sound like they do in movies, and they don't, especially in open air environments. Like they sound, if you've ever heard a gun go off, it sounds like a little pop, like pop, pop. People have this image in your head that every gun sounds like a Desert Eagle, and it's like, no. It is not the same as like in a like a video game or something. Yeah, and Starry Area 9, especially since it was picked up on a mic from far away. Yeah, it was picked up on a mic from far away. It was picked up probably through, like, if you're looking at the news footage, the sound is probably being picked up through Trump's mic that's on his chest, because that's what's piping through, either on the chest or on the podium, but that's what's piping. And so that will like
for sure dampen it. Like if you ever listen to like one of any presidential speech, whether it's Biden's or Trump's, and somebody will say something off stage, or you'll hear people talking in the background, and like it's that kind of like distorted, muffled version. It's like that. So no, I don't think it's fake. I think it's probably real. I don't know who did it. I would like to know. Yeah, what we got? Okay, Mark Violets is now trending. Great. UPOS. All right, I want to see. Why is UPOS trending? Yeah, it's just a bunch of people. Yeah, see, like we already have saying, like giving threats. Mark Violets is the person who is apparently shows Italian football fan Marco Violi. Like isn't that what I said? Like damn, my instincts are so good. As soon as I watched that video, I was like, is that Italian? I don't know about this. I don't think about that. YouTube is green? What the fuck? Why? YouTube F. Why YouTube F? Stop it, YouTube. Screen went green and your voice got all pitched up and wild. Is it back to normal now? Am I getting zucked? Is this what it's like? Zodiac, thank you 1212 for following. Same with Stim and Siphon Rhythm. No? Okay. It isn't better. Alright, tell you what, I'm going to end the stream, restart it. Everybody just kick back on in a second.